All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All You Can Eat Chelsea episode 223. Welcome, world champions. I got so many world champions looking at me, man. Four of them here. I'm waiting for another one to join very, very soon. World champions all over the live chat as well. This time last week, we were popping off. I didn't even have my voice. Still barely have my voice. But yeah, lads, how does it feel, man? World champions, bro. I see all you guys with big smiles, lovely videos. Every time I'm tuning into most of your videos, everyone's smiling, everyone's talking positive. Matisse going everywhere, just beaming. Eunice is doing press conferences and saying mad things. Do you know what I mean? His tunes chaining, but Bubba's doing some mad stuff in India as well. Don't get me wrong. Matisse, bro, how's things? Talk to me, bro.
Bro, it's these kits, man.
Oh, yes.
Bro, these kits are just so nice, bro. Like, the amount of Chelsea fans I see now just walking around London with these kits on, their badge, they're fully kitted out, got their little Champions League badge there as well, just so they know. So, some people got their name at the back. I said, you know what? I spent enough on these free garms. Let me just leave it for the names for now. Let's see what the final squad numbers are for a few. Let's see who rips it up. I'll go back later. But yeah, man, it's we're just living life, bro. We're living our best life at the moment. So I'm just enjoying it, man. I'm just enjoying it. 4 years we get to do this. So that means hopefully 4 nice kits from Nike, please. You know what I mean?
100%. But you know what? I've been following you almost everywhere you're going, and you got a different I mean, you were always a confident guy, but you got a different level of confidence at the moment. And I see how rivals, like especially I think Robbie's brother.
Yeah.
He's stuttering now. Do you know what I mean? He's stuttering when he's talking. It's reminding me of some of you guys might know this song by what's his name? Joe. Remember? No, or was it Mario Winans? Stutter, stutter, stutter. In do you guys remember that song by Mario Winans? Was it Mario Winans or was it Joe?
I don't remember that one.
Eunice, you know this song, bro. Stutter by Joe, or was it Mario Winans? One of you guys would know in the.
Let me check.
It was a lovely song. Yeah, I might need to sing that in my next video.
Yeah, Joe. It was Joe.
Yeah, stuttering. Yeah, man. Oh, man. Laurie's stuttering a lot. My man, Drog Bubba. How's things, bro? Talk to me.
All good, bro. 8 days without a trophy. I don't recognize my club anymore.
It's a disgrace.
See what we were just discussing about money a few minutes ago. So one of my friends was like, see, I used to feel bad watching you when Chelsea was struggling. Now I'm feeling pissed off the way you guys are celebrating your Club World Cup. So please play Champions League, but that's it. Don't win any more trophies because it's very hard to stand you guys now. So I like that. Like, I like pissing people off when we win trophies. Celebrating and whatnot. So yeah, it's been good.
Man loves being a bit of a troll. I love it, man. Do you know what? I want to share something with you guys before I go to Eunice. You know the feeling that I was getting before the Club World Cup? I'm getting that funny feeling again, you know. I'm getting that funny feeling again. That the butterflies, you know, just the fact that Champions League soon around the corner. I don't know, man. I'm getting a funny feeling, Eunice. I'm getting a funny feeling again.
Or are you starting to think that we're going to win the league?
Look, the league.
Can I bring that back? Finally, after all this time, can I bring that back?
Bring it back, bro. Bring it back, bro.
We're going to win the league.
See, what we've seen of Maresca, I'm not too sure about the league, but I think he can be a really good cup manager, you know, going toe-to-toe with oppositions on a given day. And
this is why I'm saying Champions League, you know. This is why I'm saying Champions League.
So I feel he can be a very good cup manager, like what we got with Tuchel, right? Like, he had a very good plans for the opposition on a given day. Like, in the season in which we finished third and we were not doing pretty well because we had all those injuries and that Lukaku situations, still we gave Madrid a hard time at Bernabeu, I remember. So yeah, like on a given day, I think he can do well. But yeah, won't. Like, I don't want to, you know, cut the celebrations down. Like, we can dream now. Like, it's our time to dream. It's nothing is beyond our grasp.
100. Eunice, bro, How's things, man? Talk to me. Tell me. We will touch base on that press conference because I got something to talk about. That a lot of people obviously giving all of us a heat. You got a lot of heat off the back of that. We'll touch base a little bit on that. But how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I mean, well, since we've not spoken since we won the Club World Cup, didn't we? So
No, we haven't. Yeah,
like this. So yeah, life is fantastic now. It's great. Everyone's triggered. The fact that we did what we did and against PSG, and in that way, that was what was unbelievable. Is just the manner of winning. That was just incredible. So yeah, now on top of that, we're now seeing substantial business activity, and so we're gonna go over all of that. But life is good at the moment, man. I think as Matisse is publicly showing. And don't worry, in hopefully maybe this time next week, I shall be having the same.
I need to get one, bro. I need to get one ASAP. Yeah, I need to make that happen soon. All right, let's start talking about, before we get into all of these transfers, we're going to keep the transfers. I want to talk about a particular matter that's been very topical. But before all of that, big up to everyone in the live chat. You guys smashed it. By the way, last show was 40,000 views. I don't think I've ever had 40,000 views besides a watch along. So well done to each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Obviously, Matisse has built the foundation on it, and like I'm starting to see the fruits of it now as well. So thank you to each and every one of you guys that has done this, and thank you to all the panelists as well. Big numbers last week, which was fantastic to see. Now, I'll start things off with Matisse. Matisse, what I've been seeing since we won the Club World Cup, it's been very topical, whether it's on my left, I think that's run by...
Oh, from my left, Tigo, Miles, Specs.
Yeah, Tigo, Miles. I've seen Miles talk about us, and he's very upbeat, like wine Chelsea fans coming out and standing their ground and saying that you're going to win the league now. Stop sitting on the fence. Then I'm seeing, on Don Robbie's channel as well, where you're with Laurie and everyone, and everyone's trying to sort of get, well, was it Flex? I think it was Flex as well, trying to have a go at you, saying, come on, Chelsea fans, like, what's with all this sitting on the fence? Are you guys going to compete? Are you guys going to win the league? Come out and say, come out and show the chest. Where do we all stand? I'm going to start with Matisse, because I think too much is being done by all of these rival fans. And I get it. I think you guys are all starting to get a little bit worried about us. You're a little bit weary as to where Chelsea's going, and you're starting to see the trajectories upwards, and you're getting worried that maybe it's all starting to click. Matisse, what is your stance? What? Because I loved your answer the other day to Flex that, bro, competing isn't winning. Like, yeah, I'm competing, but so what? It's not like winning a trophy. So where's your proper stance on Chelsea next season?
I can't come out outrightly and say we're going to win the league, right? Or we're favourites to win the league. And because I can't come out and outrightly say that for multiple reasons, I'll get into, saying we're competing, which is what I expect from us anyway, going into this season, regardless of where we won the Club World Cup or we qualified for the Champions League last year. Last year, I was always saying, next season, I want to compete for the league. However, I don't see that as some big revelation. I feel like people now are now proud to be in a title race or proud to be a part of the conversation. I don't care about the conversation. I want, when Chelsea win the league, and maybe that's just in specific to Chelsea fans, because we don't really do this second shit. When we win the league, it is pretty clear we're winning the league from early, whether it's Cesc Fabregas to Schürrle or it's Conte's run over autumn. When we're going to win the league, we make it very clear we're winning the league. We don't really do this whole competing thing. And I personally don't care, because I know the context of the way the season ends. So say I have a points target of 80, which I think is very fair right now. If you put a points target on 80 on this team, that's really high. We haven't hit that points target since Conte when we won the league in 2017. And the context of that is we played one game a week. Remember, this team are coming off the back of a Club World Cup. Remember, this team are playing Champions League. They're playing 2 games a week. They should be going deep in all 4 comps. For me, Chelsea's main objective needs to be to win a trophy next season. Win trophies. Win trophies. If that PSG performance has proven anything, is we can win the Champions League, because on any given day we can beat anyone. But I've seen Chelsea win the Champions League. I've seen Chelsea win so many trophies in cups, but in Tuchel season or in Sarri, they're not able to put it in the league. So for me to say, yeah, I expect Chelsea to go from 69 points to 90 points is a bit ridiculous, in my opinion. So I'm not saying that. And like I said, the context of it all is, if Chelsea are pushing for 80 points in March or April, but they're also in the Champions League semi-final, and they're not going to win the league, but they're doing really well in the league, I'm not expecting Chelsea to keep their focus on the league. I'm expecting Chelsea to pivot, and maybe they will drop points in the league, but the top four's done at that point. Pivot to the Champions League, pivot to the FA Cup, and go and win those trophies, as we saw Arsenal attempt to do this season. Hence why their points tally was so low, because they started pivoting towards the Champions League. So for me, as long as we're winning the cups and we're trying to pick up the Champions League, which is just, you don't have to be the best. So I don't really, and I love winning that when we're not the best, because that pisses everybody off.
It pisses everyone off.
That just makes, when I say we have a better chance of winning the Champions League than the league, every Chelsea fan knows exactly what I mean when I say that. And I ain't got no shame in it, because that would be the third champs, and that would be an incredible achievement. It's the biggest trophy in club football. So the league is something that the trajectory tells me that we're not ready next season. It's probably the season after. However, obviously from game week 1, you're going for the league. But I'm just not saying we're the favourites when I can see other teams are also improving as well. It's not just us that are improving. Everybody else is improving around us. So kind of got to take that into account.
100%, man. Eunice, I'll go to you before I go to Baba. I don't know what rivals want us to, like, I don't get it. Like, why do they want us to just come out and go, yeah, we're going to win the Premier League? I know that's what you want to say. I get it. You're probably the wrong person to ask this question. You're going to say, yeah, we're going to win. Do you know what I mean? But realistically, I kind of side with what Matisse is saying. I don't see us winning the league, but I see us being close proximity of it. But what does that mean? Like, why should I be bragging about that? Or why should I have to put that out there and make a big statement out of it? Because that means nothing at the end of the day. But obviously it means growth. So how do you feel when you see all of these rival fans going, come on, Chelsea, put the money down?
I mean, firstly, can I say, Matisse, big up to you for what you did with Flex and Laurie and running up on them and started searching them like someone in the hood. Yeah, that took me back. So big up, because that was next level.
Had to be done. Had to be done, brother.
Had to be done, bro. Had to be done. You done it well too. That's a credit. Can tell you got history. No, I'm kidding. Look, when other fans come out with this madness of their expectations of us, it's only to, and I want to say this right, it's only to try and bring us down to their level, because they know two things. They know that if we were to go ahead with the same way that they're thinking and put that pressure on us, that if we do not succeed, then they're going to have something to cling on to. But secondly, right, which is why we don't need to bother about what they've got to say. But secondly, is how we thrive, just like this Club World Cup, is when there's no expectation. Or we're the complete underdogs and we go in and everyone's going, nah, surely they're not going to do it. That's where Chelsea are at their strongest. And that's where we're happy to thrive, which is why we don't want to go along with any narratives that others have of us, because we know where we operate best. But they know where we operate best, and they're trying to get us into their circle.
They're drawing us out. They're drawing us
out.
Don't
listen to them. Don't listen to them. Let them say what they got to say. We'll just go about our business. We'll just go about it the way that we want to. And I also want to add one thing, right? Because this is where... And this is part of the reason why, and you alluded to this earlier on, why I did the whole press conference thing. Because it wasn't necessarily just about the result. It was about how we went about it. It was about how we actually executed it. No one expected that, not even us. No one would have told you before that game that we were going to do that in that way to PSG, because that wasn't luck. That was intentional. Like we done everything that we actually set out to do perfectly, which tells us that, oh, okay, now we've actually got something about us, which now means going into next season. And this is where I feel like Maresca deserves a lot of credit, because he has achieved what was set out to do anyway. But on top of that, taking the team to achieve what we ended up achieving and how we actually did it, with all of the additions that we're looking to make on top, we don't know how we're going to navigate in the league next season. No one can tell you. We can't even tell you, because we've got no sample for it. We've got last season. That's different. That's that team that went and got top 4 or even the Conference League isn't really what's heading into next season. I mean, one example we can see it now is we've changed and transformed our entire attack already, and we're still doing it. We're still bringing in players. No one knows where this is going. So no rival can tell you. Not even a Chelsea fan can really tell you what's going to go down next year. But what I think is logical is I think we're definitely going to be better equipped, much better equipped. And I even want to say what we struggled with last year. And this is where I have a little bit of optimism, because we went quite a large portion of the season in the title race, if you remember. And then we fell off, right? With what we're getting in and what we've got in and what we're looking to continue to get in, I think we'll be better equipped with better depth, with better versatility going into next season. I think even the problems we had, we'll be able to deal with. For example, low blocks or plowing through teams that are just going to sit behind the ball. I think we're even converting chances. I think we're going to be better. So this is where we genuinely, not even us, can tell you what are we actually going to achieve. I just feel we got to give the chance. But when you get fans telling you, rival fans, and I say it with chest, you say what you got to say about your team with chest, because your team's not achieving. The only ones that can really talk here are Liverpool fans. Anyone else, you can't talk. So especially the Gooners. I've got a thing about Arsenal, because I've said this. I can sense that it's starting to shift a little bit, right? I've said we get to a league title before Arsenal.
Yes. Oh shit!
I mean, look, we were, and Matisse knows this because he went and done it in person. Yeah, we were off in Kazakhstan and going to flipping countries that no one's heard of, and you lot had a free pass. You lot had the coast is clear, and you done nothing with it. And now you can sense that there's something in your rearview mirror. I swear, if we get to a league title before them lot, it's over for them. So
do you know what?
Listen to the fans that got to talk. Don't listen to what they got to say. We'll just do what we got.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I feel like God is very gracious. I feel like God wants us to be happy. And I feel like God is going to want to see us lifting the Premier League title before Arsenal. I feel like God's going to do that, you know.
I feel it too.
We are all going to cherish on that moment. We're all going to bask in glory and laugh at them unbelievably, months in, months out. Baba, I want to ask you this question with a different twist. Do you now feel like we've seen hardship, right? Over the last few seasons, we've seen hardships. Every time we were entering a new season, every one of us felt incomplete. We didn't feel totally within. Do you feel moving into this season, you're feeling a little bit more complete, a little bit more confident? And do you sense that the rivals are also feeling, oh shit, I think these guys might just have turned a corner and they know it as well. Yet they may not want to show the chest. I feel like we're like Randy Orton. You know, we're going to just bring the chest out of nowhere, RKO. Do you know what I mean? There's the chest. Do you feel like that's how it's moving at the moment? Is that what you smell, Baba? Can you smell that? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know about complete, but the word which I'll go for is settled. I think we are quite settled this time round going into the new season, because this is, I think, after 3 years that we'll have the same manager who was in charge the previous season as well when we start the new season. So that is a major point in my opinion, because you now have a group of players and the manager who have been together for a substantial amount of time, a whole season. They have done well in the league in terms of getting us their top four and securing 2 trophies, one of which I think was a bare minimum. We were expected to win the Conference League. Club World Cup, in the manner in which we did it, was impressive. I just want to debunk one myth that people say that we had an easy route to the final. So when people say that we had an easy route to the final, so all these people were going gaga over these Brazilian teams when we lost to them. Botafogo beat PSG, Al Hilal drew against Real Madrid, then Al Hilal beat Man City. So they were like, these are Champions League level teams. They'll do.
Fluminense beat Inter Milan.
Fluminense, Fluminense beat Inter Milan. So all of these fans were going gaga over these Brazilian teams. And as soon as Chelsea beat them comfortably in quarterfinal and semi-final, then these teams become easier teams. So both the things cannot be true at the same time. Either they were good teams, so we did not have an easy route to the final, or these are crap teams and we had an easy route to the final. So we also had some challenging teams to play against. So the performances were really good. And the thing which really impressed me about this manager was the tactical flexibility throughout the tournament, plus him trying some different things. And he got backfired also in one of the games in Flamengo, in which we tried a 5-man midfield, did not work. But because pretty much we have like 2 or 3 games in the preseason, and half of the players won't be available for that because they have been given this rest, which is well deserved. So all of these things make me really hopeful of the season ahead. So we are settled, yes. The main thing was what will be our playing 11 with all these 45, 50 players in our squad. We were all puzzled who will stay, who will go. Now we have a fair idea of who that 11 or 13 players are going to be, who will feature week in, week out. So that is what I by feeling settled more with the squad. Like, okay, now we know that we have an identity. Now we have a certain style of play. Now we need backups, because now it's a serious competition that we play in the midweek. Conference League, it was okay. You can go ahead with Dewsbury Hall as your Conference League goat, and you can just smash teams with Dewsbury Hall, Badia Shield in your team, and you will be fine. But now you have to really look into the backups now. For example, we are talking about forward Xavi Simons. We'll discuss in a while. I'm pretty sure of that. Still not hearing anything about Kukureya's backup, or what's the plan Achempong if Gusto stays. So all of these things. Read a report about Chalobah being on the transfer list again because Fofana is ahead of him. I don't know why a player is ahead of a certain player if he's not even fit. So all of these things now make me a bit skeptical about the chances in the context of us not having the right backup to certain players in case they're not available. You know what I mean? But now I'm pretty confident that we have 11 of the players. If fit, we can go against the biggest of the big boys who are around in European football. So on that front, I'm pretty confident. But again, it's a big season. If you go all the way, you again play 60, 65 games, and you have already played a big tournament in the time that was supposed to be off, and other teams have had that time off. So I don't if the burnout or the fatigue of this Club World Cup will kick in. We are yet to see that. But I'm pretty hopeful that we should do well. Like, we can have a good run in the Champions League. I agree with Matisse. Competing in the title race should not be an achievement, but you have to also look into what teams like City and Liverpool have been doing in the transfer market. So I think we can compete, but it has to involve a lot of luck. For example, Caicedo cannot get injured, and it is a huge ask because the way he gets tackled each game, it's a miracle that he played 38 games this season, right? But I think 80% season of a fit Reece James and Romeo Lavia, I think we can do it.
That'll go a long way.
Yeah, if these two players can stay at least 80% of the season with us, and in the big games, I think we can do it. The quality is there. The team is there.
Fofana as well.
Yeah, Fofana as well. And now, look, I hear what you're saying, Baba. It's like the room is set with everything that you need. The bed's there, side tables there, the dressing tables there. Now you need, the little cosmetics, maybe a stand fan when it gets hot, maybe a little shelf to put your books in, just to sort of organize. But the room is looking like it's livable. I hear what you're saying. Baptiste, I want to segue into the next topic before we touch on transfers. I know everyone's quite gaga on the transfers. We're going to get to that. We're going to give you all your dopamine of transfers. Don't worry. Relax yourself. Baptiste, I don't know if you saw the press conference of Yunus. I think it's very interesting. That was a very, very lovely video that Yunus did. More or less, Yunus's final gist of it all was that he wants to give this manager, the directors overall, and everyone backing now. He feels like they've and the players. He feels like these lot have shown us something to now get that backing. I more or less kind of agree with that, but where I somewhat disagree, and it's not something that Yunus said, it's more what others are saying to either Yunus or me or yourself or even Baba, is that, oh, look at these guys. As soon as there's a drop in form next season, you're all gonna be talking different tune. Me personally, I can already see Yunus is nodding his head that he would. Me, I'd say, I wouldn't say just a simple drop in form, but if there is a prolonged drop in form from December to March or April, the way we saw last season, I'll have issues again. I'm sorry. I will have issues again because I don't expect to go through that every single season. I expect the football club to get better. I'm not saying win every game. You're going to go through blips. You're going to go through a couple of games losses. As Thomas Tuchel rightly said after he got sacked by our current owners, that clubs like Chelsea Football Club, you can't have 3-4 losses in a row. It's just people will stop believing in this process. People will stop believing in all of this nonsense. You can have a loss, you can have two, but you got to get back into winning. Matisse, do you now feel that, when people say if there is a drop in form that you're going to revert again, or do you feel no, like if it's prolonged, then we're going to be talking about it? Where's your stance on all of this?
Yeah, I get it from all over the shop because I didn't go to the protest, which my comments and my watch along, a lot of people were very angry that I didn't go to the protest, even though I didn't even say I was going, or I didn't actually promote it too much. I just said it's on. I didn't push for it. And then also they know, and people know, I go for the directors. And I think the directors this summer have done a much better job on improving the team, acting swiftly, and signing players that profile and stylistically seem to suit what the manager is doing. So my whole issue is the directors. I said it before, even though people can be annoyed with the owners, the restrictions within what they are operating, which is the age and the wage, you can still recruit better players within that restriction and have Chelsea's squad looking more balanced and better than it was with last summer and January, which was whatever, right? We didn't do anything. And this summer has shown that if you recruit within the restrictions, you can recruit better. And now the team looks better and the season looks more promising going forward. Obviously, it's still all got to work out in when time actually reveals itself. But that's who I was onto as the directors. And like I said in the last episode, I've lowered my weapon because the window so far is really strong, looks really good. Obviously, it could have been better. I could have had Rodrigo instead of Garnacho links, which we'll see how that all unfolds. Maybe it will be Simmons. Hopefully it won't be Garnacho. You still need the backup left back. The goalkeeper situation, you're taking a gamble if you don't buy someone. So that's their own risk to take. He's in good form. He won the Golden Glove, but he's still got the bozo gene lurking somewhere deep within him. And apart from that, I'm very happy with the rest of the team. So the only thing that is really for me what time has just done is time has just made sure that some of these players actually understand what winning feels like by getting that first 2 trophies in the bank, and also time means age, which means these players are getting older, which means the need for experience is becoming less and less every season because the experience is just within now. The experience is just there because they're just developing it whilst playing together, which is what a lot of people already said would be the case, which is fair enough. And that was always, going to be the case if we didn't get any experience. We just have our own. But could we have done better if we had got some? If we had got a Garassi in January 2023 or 4, whatever it was, could we have done better in a cup? Could we have won a cup like a Carabao? Could we have finished, stronger and we've been more consistent instead of relying on Jackson? This is all irrelevant now because we're here. No matter how, no matter which way, we are here. And now going forward, I'm not going to carry all of that discontent and anger from previous. That's all water under the bridge now. But yeah, for me, I've never had, to people's dismay, a Blues Co out video. I've never had a Maresca out video. All I've had is the directors, and I think for good reason. So I have no problem.
No, you're absolutely right. Look, me personally, either I'm pretty certain I've never had a Maresca out. In fact, I've actually defended him. I've kept on saying that. I don't think even he's the problem. But I will say I've had issues with the owners and I've had issues with the directors. And Eunice knows this well. I've talked to Eunice about this on a regular, and we've done videos on it. Eunice, I want to ask you now, before once again I go to Bubba, that I've seen someone put a comment that we can't just abandon ship with the first sign of problems arising again. I'm not talking about first sign of problems. Problems will arise, Eunice. Next season, problems will arise again. Yep. I'm talking about the kind of problem that lasts too long. You know what I'm talking about? That go for December to January to February to March. And it's almost like, well, there's another season gone. Like, we can't allow, I don't mind if the problem sticks around for a little bit and we find a solution and we kick on again. Eunice, are you at a position where you're willing to back regardless of whatever happens? Or will you have problems that I expect Chelsea, if there is a prolonged period, find a solution ASAP. You can't allow a season to be just a free hit again. Do you know what I mean?
Look, I'm going to use an analogy here that I hope will make sense, because I feel like we're living in a I don't want to say a time, but this whole saga is everyone is in this mentality of you have to be on a side, and that's just not a way to live. Like, you don't learn that way, right? And you don't allow any space for any growth or any rectification. It's like parenting, right? And I'm not. I mean, Miz, you are. I'm not a parent yet, but I imagine this is how I'm going to approach it. If I see my kid or kids, right, doing things that they're not meant to, they will be called on it. But the moment they actually start stepping in a direction that they're doing things correctly, or if you try and set them to do something and they keep doing it wrong, right? But they're doing it wrong stupidly, you call them out on it. But the moment they get it right and you can see that they're doing as you are asking them to, or they're executing and they've got it, what do you do at that point? You praise and you motivate. You push them.
That's a good analogy.
Keep going, yes. And then you praise
People
them.
call you flip-flop. People will call you flip-flop.
Flip-flop for that. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense, right? That doesn't make any sense. I feel like with what Chelsea have done and proven is, and there was a few comments that popped in the chat earlier, and it made sense. This is based on trust. This is based on trust. What we saw over 2 to 3 years since the owners walked in, we weren't getting anything to show, this is going to be good in the long run, right?
Yeah.
With what was achieved at the back end of last season, this didn't start at the Club World Cup. This started at the back end of last season, where we saw some sort of a shift.
Correct.
And that's where, alarm bells. There wasn't. I wasn't trusting at that point, but I was like, what's going on here then? We started picking up some results that I didn't think we would get. But that was based on the 2 years before that. But then we did get those results through the door. And then we did get what our achievements were actually set out to be at the beginning of the season. We got top 4. We won the Conference League convincingly. I mean, that was cool. But then we went to the Club World Cup, and even then we weren't expecting to go all the way and win it, especially playing against PSG. We was like, if we get PSG, we're probably going to get eliminated. Understandably so, because we, in our heads, are not at that level. everything that had been shown to us up until that point was saying that we're not at that level yet, right? And then we do what we do. And like I've said, this wasn't a fluke. I did mention I wouldn't have done that video if we just got lucky on the day, because it can happen. You play a final, it's just luck. You get one shot, one on target. PSG just spamming the box. It just doesn't work. We grab it and we just take it. And I would have been happy with that. But we completely dominated, outplayed, done everything. And it's like Baba said earlier, it proves that the entire run wasn't just us having an easy run. We made it look easy. In fact, those teams that people say we had it easy against gave us a better fight than PSG.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nuts when you think about it, right? But that's down to us because of the way that we played. So now we've got something, we've got a sample size. Now we've got something that tells us we can play against the best. We do have something in our team that tells us we can achieve something. There's a trust there now. Some of the signings that have been made this summer specifically have made sense. Yeah. But you got to acknowledge that.
And the outgoings as well, Eunice. And the outgoings. It's all making sense.
Exactly. It's all falling into place and making sense, which means that if it's making sense and I'm like, yo, this is actually working, it deserves praise. It deserves backing. It deserves a push. And especially, I said this yesterday, Maresca is the one I feel like who he's had to navigate all of this, and I feel like he's done really, really well. But even the way that even the decisions that are being made at director level, directors with the owners, because again, you can't have it both ways. I remember when we were saying, okay, the directors are making dodgy decisions, but the directors are under the thumb of the owners. The directors are told how they have to work and what they must do. They don't have full control over all the decisions. That comes from above. Well, if there's good things coming from the directors, it means that point still stands. It's coming from above. You can't have it both ways. Do you know what I mean? This is where you just have to be fair. So I feel like even if we got into a situation next season where, okay, we hit a bad patch of form, what the team, the manager, and the club have done now is actually earn backing and earn trust to a level. It doesn't mean put your foot off the gas. And this is why I was happy to hear what we got from a few journalists saying that everyone at Chelsea, even at the top, are saying we still got work.
Humble. Humble.
I'm completely happy with that. Absolutely. Because we can't get carried away completely just because of a Club World Cup. We want to achieve more. This is Chelsea. We're not just happy on getting one trophy and that's it. It's a wrap. No, we want to go and win the league again. We want to win the Champions League again. We want to be able to succeed and keep ourselves at the top. As long as they know that and that is how they're operating, that deserves backing. Because that was our initial fear. Our initial fear was over 2.5 years is that they don't have the mentality. They've proven that they have a mentality. The players are all coming out talking about, we want to go in and win the league next season. We all want to keep winning trophies. We want to, cool, that's what we want. And that's what we wanted to hear. We're getting people now speaking our language and they're showing it. It deserves backing. Do you know what I mean? That's it. That is basically it. And I feel like that's just the fair way to go. And the business that we're seeing now is also replicating that. It's reflecting that. And I feel like now Xavi Simons is probably going to be a signing. Hato is now apparently we're looking to get him in properly as a new left back for Cucurella. But there's things that are in motion. That's what we wanted to see. So there will be backing. Even if we hit a bad patch of form next season, it's not going to be the same because we've seen what they've done and what they've done is now working and it's looking good. That deserves motivation. That deserves some backing. So.
But I feel like people don't understand what criticism is as well. If you're losing 4 out of the next 5, you're getting criticized. Yes,
100%.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, because you play for Chelsea Football Club, and
yes,
I can't have people in one ear talking about we can win the league. And then,
by the way, Matisse, this is so important what you're saying. Like people need to understand this.
I can't have in one ear Matisse say we can win the league because we can. Why don't you back it? 90 points. We lose 4 out of 5. Why are you criticizing? Well, if you want to win the league, you can't lose 4 out of 5. This project peaks at a Premier League win or a Champions League win. Hopefully both. But that is when it is a formality. Okay, we're back. And that's what
Yeah.
people need to also get through their heads. We're in a great spot. We've made great improvements. We're on an upward trajectory. Everybody's excited. Everybody's upbeat. But the job is not done. The job for me is only just getting started. Because that Conference League, you had to win it. It doesn't matter if Chelsea is in the 90s. It doesn't matter if Chelsea's in the early 2000s before Roman. It doesn't matter if Chelsea's broke. It doesn't matter if Chelsea's rich. You got to win the Conference League. That performance against PSG was the start. That was the first moment of, oh shit, what's going on here right now? Like, this is proper. This is not even like a late charge to top four, which we should be getting anyway. This is like big boy shit performance. That's the start. Now we got to keep that step in. And it doesn't mean that you have to win champs next season. You have to win Prem next season. But you gotta keep going in that trajectory where it's looking like that's what you're on to doing. But yeah, like if you've got high standards of this team now, and this window is really good, which we're all saying it is, that comes with a pressure of, you have to be consistent next season. You can't have, like you said, from December to March some bullshit, bro. Like, we can't have that.
It don't make sense. Like, it don't make sense what's going on.
The two don't sit at the same table. Do you know what I mean? Do we want to predict them to finish fourth, or do we want to predict them to compete? Make up your minds. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
No, 100% right.
I want to add something as well, real quick. If we do hit a bad patch of form, right now, it's not necessarily going to be approached the same way as it would have been before, because before we were worried about the entire direction of the football club. Whereas now, if we've proven that we have the tools in the team to compete against the best, now we can look more within, and we can look at, if we do hit bad form, it's which players are playing in a certain way. What's Maresca doing wrong?
It's this comment right here.
Now. It's intricate. Exactly. That's exactly it.
It is now, because there's going to be balance in the team, and there's hopefully going to be two left backs. But when you leave Jackson and a misprofiled in Cuckoo, I'm sorry, the directors are going to get it in season, 100%.
Yes.
When you're Caicedo injury away from having no midfield, you're going to get it in season, 100%. Now that the team hopefully is just fully fleshed, of course, there's no problem. No problem.
Completely.
100%. Baba, I really liked what Eunice said, that, it's okay to go through a situation where, one of your kids doing wrong, and you're telling them, hey, get back into the line, and then they get back into the line, and you start appreciating. That shouldn't be looked at as flip-flop. And I think similar thing we've seen with our owners as well. If you remember, Baba, Todd Bowley, he was like, everyone used to call him, oh, look at this cowboy maverick going around just before Real Madrid game. Yeah, we're going to win 3-0, 3-0. That's the score prediction this guy was making. Like all of this other nonsense stuff that Todd Bowley was talking about. We all know about the formation. What was it? 4-4-3? 4-4-3 formation, how they all thought that Champions League was a given. They were shocked. What? Chelsea don't make Champions League every season? I thought it was automatic. Like, there's so many instances, right? But now I feel like even they're learning. They're talking a little less. They're listening a little bit more. They're understanding the game a little bit more. They're getting everything little bit by little bit, which we wanted from the beginning. We said, keep your mouth shut, learn, understand. Sometimes I've always said, if you see in the room, the person that speaks the least amount is probably the most smartest guy, because what they're doing is they're just gathering information, and they're formulating stuff in their head. But do you feel like our owners, the criticism that they got was warranted, and now they're slowly getting back on track, talking less, making better decisions, and they're maturing? Do you feel that's what's happening, and it's okay to appreciate that now?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you go through 3 managers in a single season and you finish 12th, and then you spend all that money to finish 6th, so the criticism is warranted there. Like, we are not used to seeing Chelsea be satisfied with a Europa League finish, and then the team which finishes lower than us wins the FA Cup, and we are relegated to the Conference League. So that is not something that we are used to as Chelsea fans, right? So if for the past 2 seasons we were in this situation, so yeah, I mean, the ownership needs time, and we get that. Like everyone needs time to just to get a hang of things, how things work in European football and how things work in the Premier League and whatnot. But I completely feel it was justified to blame the owners then, and we have praised them now. Now that the things have started making sense, because see, I don't think so. Even the owners have had that kind of foresight, right? All of these were punts at the end of the day. Like it's good recruitment once they start to click, but a lot of players when they were signed, we were like, "What's the plan there?" Like
Yep.
still to this day, I don't know why we signed Jao Felix, right? Like no one knows why we signed Jao Felix, and now we are stuck with
I
him.
don't think he knows either.
Yeah, so
That was Gallagher,
again,
wasn't it?
yeah,
Oh yeah, it was
yeah,
Gallagher. Yeah.
maybe Gallagher and
And
yeah,
the agent.
yeah, the
Jorge
agent. Yeah, I
Mendes.
think it was more to curry a favor with Jorge Mendes, I feel. So yeah,
Mm.
that's there. But there is a limit to everything. Like we understand. Like you are all about profits. You are all about finding these loopholes and uh, confronting UEFA and FIFA on a regular basis about the PSR situation. I get that, but there's a limit to it, and we don't really care. Uh, might as well spend another 2 billion. I don't care if it means us winning more trophies. So be it. Like when we were linked to Garnacho, so my tune has changed. I was like, if the manager wants it, if the directors are convinced, I've seen enough of evidence that okay, what they are trying to get is working now. So get
Mm.
Garnacho. Even though I don't like Garnacho, but me not liking him, by that I mean I would prefer Simmons over Garnacho. If we are linked
Yeah.
to both these players, I would prefer Simmons because I've seen more of Simmons. Again, people will say we had our hands burned with Leipzig players. First it was Werner, then it was Nkunku. Now we are going again for Leipzig forward. I get that, but with Garnacho, I don't get that vibe, and I don't claim to know more about football than a directors or owners. Let me make it very clear. But yeah, when things go wrong, you have to put it somewhere. But now I feel that uh, the plan is coming together now,
Mm.
and all the City Academy players are doing really well for us, plus the Brighton players. So yeah, the Brighton plus City Academy is the new Chelsea. That's the new reality of
The
this.
collaboration's going good.
Yeah, the collaboration is growing good. So I don't mind now, because like we were sick of signing Brighton players, right? I've heard Eunice specifically mention it that
Yeah, Eunice
he
hates Brighton.
yeah don't even play
I
Brighton
don't
in the
mind
Premier
Brighton.
League.
No, no,
Yeah,
it's all right now, you know.
yeah, don't even play Brighton. Like don't even talk to them. Even when you play in the Premier League, just play and come back. So apart from Sanchez, I think the players that we've got from Brighton, even Colville was there on loan.
Yeah.
So
They've
so
been class.
Kukurea, yeah, so Kukurea, Caicedo, now João Pedro, Sanchez in the final. So yeah, it's all seem to be coming together now. So I'm happy. See again, uh, it's all in the hindsight, right? Like if something does not work, you are like, okay, uh, we told you so. This will not work. The scattergun approach will not work. Nothing
Mm.
succeeds like success, as they say. Like once it works out, it's all well. But
Yeah.
you have to blame something and someone, right? Because none of us have this foresight. Even the most optimistic of the Chelsea fans would not have thought that we'll win the Club World Cup. You, Miss, were quite hopeful.
But
It was out of
but
hope.
I wasn't but I
Huh.
wasn't one of those optimistic fans
Yeah,
from the get-go.
yeah. It
I
was not a
was
belief in the team. It was just out of romanticism that you were saying. Okay, it was out
yeah,
of
yeah,
romanticism for Chelsea that okay, we'll win
yeah.
the. It was not like you were seeing something there. Okay, tactically we are superior than this team. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Maresca can do this to Luis Enrique. We were all shit scared before the final. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we were just hoping that if even if we lose, we just put in a fight and go down gracefully. But the manner in which we won the final, the thing that Eunice mentioned, that gives me a lot of encouragement, to be honest. And
Mm.
again, now we see plans for certain players. Like now we see what Malo Gusto brings to the table. Why Maresca prefers Malo Gusto. Finally, that plan worked, and we saw Malo Gusto doing well against a proper team. So yeah, I'll keep my mouth shut for a reasonable period of time this season. And I hope things go well, to be honest. And I personally feel we are not that far off. A couple of backups, and we are there.
No, I agree, man. I agree. All right, let's talk about some transfer business. Matisse, lots popping off, man. Lots popping off. We got Xavi Simons to talk about. We got Garnacho to talk about. Rogers, this, that, the other. Jackson. I'm going to keep Xavi Simons for a little bit because obviously that is the flavor. But one that really needs to be talked about amongst all of us and in the live chat as well, I think it'll be interesting, is Matisse Garnacho.
Yeah.
You don't like Garnacho. I've seen you, reply all over X. Anything but this guy. Do whatever whatever gymnastics we need to do. Just stay away from this player. Me personally as well, I've spoken about him many times. But in recent times, I've had a bit of a thought, and I want to see how you feel about this thought. Now, you might grab this thought, crunch it up, and throw it in the bin, and that's fine. My thought is the only glimmer of hope for me with Garnacho is that could Enzo Fernandez grab him around the shoulder and guide him at Chelsea Football Club as being an Argentinian compatriot for him? If this was to happen, I still think, obviously, Xavi Simons is probably going to happen because he wants to come to Chelsea. But I also do feel Garnacho might happen as well. I feel like it's probably both because we might lose a few more in attack. So, Matisse, do you think there is a hope for this player at all at Chelsea? Do you think, are we being harsh? Should people not get another chance in life? Do you know what I mean? Just to redeem themselves. How do you feel, bro?
Obviously, I hope that doesn't happen because I feel like Simons should be the end of it. In terms of the actual amount of attackers we have, once you buy Simons, if you get him, really, I don't forget profiles. I just don't see numerically why we need more attackers after that. We've signed a lot of attackers. We've signed Pedro. We've signed Delap. We've got Esteval coming in, who's new. We've got Gittins. You add Simons, that's like a whole new attack. That's a whole new attack plus a bench of new attackers. So I just think at that point, you got to start putting your funds towards a left back and go from there defensively. But look, of course, if any player joins Chelsea, there's hope. He's a professional footballer at the end of the day. He plays in the Premier League. He's not a bum. However, I don't understand the logic of let's remove the bad egg, which is Jackson, some people will say, who's picked up 2 red cards because one, idiotic, second one, coming off the bench, trying way too hard to impress, way too hard to make a mark, way too hard to show that he can compete with Delap or, whoever's João Pedro, whoever he's come on for. But people are willing to just banish him, get him out of the club. He's unprofessional, but Garnacho is the person that you want to bring in. Somebody else's unprofessionalism. I don't get that. And I just don't think he's a special player. Like, we have already signed a young winger in Gittins who is developing, is going to be inconsistent, is going to need Maresca's arm round the shoulder. Why on earth would I now, with Rodrigo on the market, who could go to Liverpool, with Rogers, who we're linked with, who's done way better than Garnacho last season and is someone that has worked with Maresca, Man City, Parma, all of those links, Joe Shields. Why would I advocate for bringing in an inconsistent winger who I don't think their dribbling is really that impressive? I don't think that their decision-making in the final third is that impressive. Why would I sign up for that? For what reason? Especially when you got to pay good money for him. Like, I feel like people, because we get linked with a player now, and because we just won the Club World Cup, you just have to go along with everything now. Every single link, you got to like it. I don't even understand how you can like the Simons link and like the Rogers link and like the Garnacho link. They're all free. They're different players.
You can't be liking everyone.
Like, they're all different players. Which type of player do you want? I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? They don't even play in the same position, really. The 3 of them. They don't play the position the same way. So for me, I'm just not interested. I'm not interested. And until he signs, if he does, I don't need to even pretend to like him or want him. If he wasn't linked with Chelsea, I wouldn't want him and I wouldn't like him. Like, that's just the facts. I'm not going to change my mind because we're linked with him. I've never watched Garnacho at Man United and thought, yeah, let me get a piece of that. Let me get a piece of that. Counter-attacking winger needs space to run into and to operate in. When I'm trying to make sure personally that up against low blocks, we are just fucking killers. That's all I'm interested in. Against low blocks, I just need us to be killers, bro. I don't worry about us in transition. I don't worry about Neto in transition. I don't worry about Delap in transition, Gittins in transition, Esteval in transition. I worry about low blocks, home games, small pitch. That's what I worry about. So I'm not bringing in Garnacho personally to help me with those concerns. Yes, you could say we need a touchline winger. Cool. There are other touchline wingers. At the end of the day, yes, what he does off the field and his brother, that is just the icing on the cake for me to not want him. I just don't like him.
Too much drama. Way too much drama. No, I agree. Eunice, I did see you comment. I think someone said, it might have been Robert, Eunice. I think it was Robert that, once we sign Garnacho, watch this fan base flip it again. And I think you said that, I think this time around we'll probably back him. I mean, would you seriously back the Garnacho move? I know you've said on record that that's not your preference, but
no,
would you still back it? Like, I feel like I can't really back that like we're doing all of these right moves. For me, this is so out on the left. It's not even funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. What I think is that correctly so. There's other options out there, and I think we're going for Xavi Simons, and I think that will be the end of it. I don't see. Yeah, you can't get in Gittins and then get in Xavi Simons and then bring in Garnacho. But like the point that some people have towards Xavi Simons, for example, of where is he going to play, which I think is pretty. If with a little bit of digging, you'll be able to see where he's going to play. With getting those players and then bringing Garnacho, at that point I'm going to ask, where's Garnacho going to play? There's no point, So
what if Jackson leaves though, Eunice? What if Jackson leaves as well?
It doesn't fit. I'd rather Morgan Rogers because Garnacho doesn't play up top. Even if you want to compensate and go, okay, you know what, maybe we can stick him up top or have him as an option to replace Jackson directly. That's not Garnacho. That can be Morgan Rogers, because Rogers has played in that role before, so that could be a default third option. But that's where you look and you have better options on the table. But what I want to say for Garnacho is not necessarily just about the player, because the player at Manchester United has been poor. But that's where I feel like it's only right to entertain and try and be fair. How much of that is down to the player and how much of that is down to the club? Because there's been other examples of players that have looked poor at Man United, left and improved. And that's where I feel like there is a player in Garnacho, but it's just too risky for us to go near. If you ask me, like gun to my head, would you take him or not? No, I won't take him. But I have to say, with Manchester United and the way that they not treat players, but the way that players are at that club is a joke. We've seen players like Anthony who've looked horrible, right? He was literally the guy that everyone was mocking every single week. Left looked much better. McTominay went to Napoli. Look at he's actually turned into someone serious.
Bro, Napoli are treating him like something huge.
Yeah.
At United, he was nothing. Even Sancho, who didn't light it up at Chelsea, right? But he was definitely better at us than he was at United, without a doubt, right? And that was even limited. Like even with us, we weren't satisfied with Sancho, and that was still better than at United. How much of Manchester United is to blame, and how much is it down on the player? I reckon there is, and I'm not certain on this, but I reckon there is a possibility Garnacho goes somewhere else and actually looks decent. But
absolutely.
Like I've said, there's better options. If we had no one else to turn to, I feel like there'd be more to really go into this with Garnacho. But I think we're about to get Xavi Simons. I think even
another good example as well.
Elanga's another one. Yeah, Elanga's another one. I feel like even if it's not Simmons and it was going to be Rodgers, even then, that's just less risk. It fits better, and it's just something that we should do more than Garnacho. But that's where I stand.
The thing is do we need a starting left-sided player or a bench option? If I needed an inconsistent bench option, which Man United fans who watch him every week consistently say this player is better off the bench. When he starts, not really too sure about this guy when he starts. When he comes off the bench, impact. I don't need a bench option. Unless Gittins is ready to just start week in, week out, which I don't want to put him under that kind of pressure because he's only 20 years old. There, like I said, there's Rodrigo's. Like, I feel like, again, and I said this before.
Matisse, what about this one? Matisse, what about this one?
Go on.
Market opportunities. Because our club loves this. If he goes on a cheap, for example, our clubs do, like, we've seen Chelsea Football Club do market opportunity purchases. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, but it's going to make money.
Yeah, but I'm a fan. I'm not interested in the profit margin this time. Like, when it comes down to winning the Premier League, is Rodrigo gonna get you closer to winning the Premier League, or is Garnacho? Simple question. Yeah. And if you can't get Rodrigo, fair, no problem, because he's obviously tied up in whatever's going on at Real Madrid. Is Rodgers or Garnacho? Like, for me, I just feel like the other options are better footballers. They're better players. Their decision making, their pass, they're just better footballers. I see too much inconsistency from him, and I don't feel like if we didn't qualify for the Champions League and we didn't win the Club World Cup, fair. This is the type of gamble you got to take because you can't take the best. Why did we just become world champions to be talking about Garnacho? Who I personally I'm not understanding. I want players that are sought after because there's a whole heap of clubs, Arsenal, Liverpool, they all need left wingers, and not a single one of them are even turning a blind eye to Garnacho. So for me, we're world champions. I think we should be trying to get as good as we can, or higher ceiling players. Personally, that's what I feel.
It's like this, lads. Like, you know, those schools, like when we were growing up, right? We were growing up, and then there was like those schools that every kid wants to get to. Like, oh, that's the high standard. You know what I mean? You make it to that school, you've made it. Chelsea are starting to become that school again. Do you know what I mean? Like, you make it to Chelsea, you kind of make it. And that kind of school, those high calibrated schools, they don't just take any students in the street. Like, you got to have some level of credibility to come and represent us and study in our institution. So it's like that, what Matisse is trying to say. Chelsea are now world champions. We need world champions caliber. We need that level of ilk. While we're talking to Garnacho, you got schools over there, Garnacho. Those are your schools right there. Do you know what I mean? Talk to them, talk to their principal, see if you can get a admission in those schools. Yunus, Xavi Simmons, you're big on this guy. You're very big. People are tagging me and going, hey, Yunus done his research. Me personally, I don't watch him that often enough. I think Matisse, I don't think I've seen Matisse do how I feel about Xavi Simmons. So that's when I know he doesn't really know too much about him either. Yunus, this is it for you. This guy is going to be a difference maker. Talk to us about Xavi Simmons, because it looks like he wants to join us. Personal terms agreement might be the next phase. Club to club is probably going to happen soon. But then there is Bayern Munich sniffing around as well. So what's your thoughts?
I mean, it seems like, club to club talks start today. Agreement in terms of him and the club is basically in the pocket at this point. After doing some digging, because I was like, I had an opinion on him, and I was like, okay, now you know what? Because I had an opinion on João Pedro prior, and then I saw he came in, he done what he done. I was like, okay, now you know what? I need to give an opportunity here. So I went and I've done some like real extensive like watching, not just like highlights or anything, but I was watching.
You've done a course
of Leipzig.
You've done a course. You've done a little mini course.
And I'm just keeping my eye on the player, keeping my eye on him. And I'm like, okay. people have this idea that he's exactly like Nkunku. And that couldn't be further away from the truth, right? That's not the case. And I feel like the type of player he is, in terms of, you know how I always advocate for players with a footballing brain, right? And I always advocate for players that can generate a solution in the moment, within a tight space. That creativity is there. But on top of that, whether they can fit, I feel like he would fit. And he would also add to the ethos that I think Chelsea are trying to do here. This is my opinion, right? I think Chelsea, and I've said this before, are trying to, or Maresca specifically here, is trying to be able to build a way where we can change, rotate systems, even in-game, even mid-game, where we go to not just once or twice, but if we change it 3, 4, 5 times in a game. And what Xavi Simons does is, not only can he play as a 10 or as an attacking midfielder, which is, I think, what his predominant position was anyway, but we've seen him be able to play on the right-hand side. He's played more on the left-hand side, even as a left winger. Now, he can play as an inside forward or someone that is coming inside as, just on the left-hand side, not necessarily as a touchline winger, but he has played as a left winger too. When you go to last season, he was predominantly on that left side. He wasn't an attacking midfielder. People have this idea he's an attacking midfielder. He can play there, yes, but that's where the flexibility comes in, because now with Xavi Simons, we have an option to go to 2 10s if we have to. Cole Palmer and Xavi Simons. If we want to just stick with one, but we have someone that can play on the left-hand side completely, that can be competition or play ahead of Gittins, because I would think Xavi Simons plays ahead of Gittins, then Xavi Simons can play on that left-hand side. If we need someone to play on the right-hand side, he can also play there. I feel like he's got more to his tank than, let's say, Nkunku or Felix, especially, because people are looking at him and going, and this was my initial doubt, is this just another Felix kind of player? No, Felix can't do what Xavi Simons can do. Felix is a talented player in the attacking midfield role where he doesn't have a place because we've got Cole Palmer and we've got Esteval coming in. I feel like Xavi Simons allows us to have more flexibility, but it's not just that. With Xavi Simons, what caught my eye, what was my surprise, was his drive. He's not scared. He'll drive with the ball and he'll take players on. He shoots often, and it's not just by chance. You know, when I talk about players, and this is Madueke for me, right? Someone that just, there's a chance to just hit it and hope. You can see when Xavi Simons shoots, he knows where he's going to put it. And whether a keeper makes a save, cool. But for me, the intention is there, and that's something big for me, right? But on top of that, his vision, the way he picks out passes, whether it's tight or whether it's spread, whether he needs to deploy a through ball, he's got an eye to see who's making a run. And that for me is big, because we miss many chances where players are making runs. And credit to Nicholas Jackson on this one, I would say. He makes runs from time to time and he doesn't get caught, doesn't get picked up. Also, the big thing, and people will be happy with this, and this is why I also think Maresca and Chelsea are looking, he defends, man.
That's the big one for me. That's the big one for me, because I don't know much about him defending. I've seen clips of him being very explosive in attack. Bro, if this guy off the ball at times when we need to suffer and he doesn't suffer,
he is happy to suffer.
Okay, that's what I want.
I'm seeing driving all the way back, retrieving the ball, giving, and then bombing forward again. I'm like, flipping out. Okay, that for me, I think is one of the number one points why Chelsea are interested here, because we know that we're gonna get proper work rate, and not just work rate for the sake of it, but you can see that he's genuinely wanting to come back and defend. It's not something that's against his will. I feel like we've had players that have had to do it just against their wills. It's not what they want to do. He's happy to do it, and he does it well. On top of that, 22 has, I mean, we talk about experience, and this is where people have the misconception that experience equals age. No. Experience means what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? And when you look at, you know, he's got Champions League experience there. He's played at that level. He's played for
Dutch international, bro,
for a while. Yeah. I feel like he would be a really good fit. And we're talking market opportunity. That's a market opportunity. That is exactly a market opportunity. 40, 50 million, we can get him. So.
Matisse, are you convinced off the back of what Yunus just said? He made a compelling display of this.
I was actually in Yunus's comments when he said that he was like Felix telling him he's not. So I was actually there. You know what I mean? Look, at the end of the day, I'm very simple. I'm a simple man. If it's not Garnacho, I'm a happy man, right? And Simmons,
it's very easy.
Simmons is not that. Do you know what I mean? This is, like you said, a player with a footballing brain, a player that has a lot more to his game, in my opinion, than the other alternative. And that's what I want. I want someone that I don't feel like is kind of limited to certain circumstances or certain moments in a game or certain scenarios. They actually help us think of more scenarios and more situations and actually help in multiple ways. I remember the goal that he scored against England, and I was just like, raw.
Declan Rice.
Yeah. That's the only time that I've seen of him, because I don't watch him at Leipzig. But when I saw him do that, I said, yo, this brother. Because the thing is with Simmons, he's always been about. From Barca, PSG, then he's on loan here, then he's on loan there. And he seems to be one of those players that have like got so much promise, so much talent, so much kind of potential. And everybody kind of knew from 17, 16, whatever, this guy was, special. But he just maybe has not had a settled environment where you could sit him down and say, this is your home. And
see, that scares me.
And I know that does sound, I know it does, yeah. It sounds a little bit like Felix.
That's Felix.
And that is where the João Felix comparisons are coming from, I think, from a lot of people, is that he seems like he's just kind of scrambled and he's just all over the shop. But because of that work rate off the ball, look, talent-wise, technically, when you're coming from La Masia, and I ain't got no problem, no concern there. It's off the ball. The fact that off the ball he does work hard is key for me, right? And that's, we need both sides of the ball, because I think when Chelsea are at their best, their counter press is on point. PSG, the counter press was on point. Didn't give them no rest in midfield. Didn't give them no time on the ball. And anyone who's coming in has got to want to do that. And you can't come in here with an ego, right? You can't come in here thinking that you're the shit, or you got to come in and buy into that. So, listen, I would absolutely have no issue if that was the last attacking signing. You've got depth in multiple areas. The only thing is, I guess people have asked about Jackson. If he leaves, can he play false nine? I'm not sure. Maybe the chat will know. Same with Rodgers. I've not actually watched Rodgers false nine too much either. So
I don't think I've seen Xavi Simons play false nine.
Yeah. So
then again, I don't really watch.
I don't want to start misprofiling people and putting people in positions they're not comfortable with. I just know he can play 10. If he does play off the left, the only thing I would ask that we would hopefully go for is someone that overlaps at left back. Now, obviously, Cucurella does that because he just goes everywhere. But I feel like we can get a much more, specified left back that really does flourish on the overlap in terms of crossing, in terms of going past players if necessary. Just P&P, like that's their kind of natural habitat. I still like Cucurella going inside, and sometimes he goes into the back three or he goes into midfield. I still like him doing that. So I think if you're getting Simmons, you just got to make sure you get overlapping left back, just to make sure that you have someone going on the outside when he's on the left. But yeah, man, if that's the deal we do, I'll be happy. I'll be happy, no problem.
No, I agree with you. That overlapping is going to be very important for Xavi Simons. A lot of people in the live chat saying, Yunus, did you get a phone call from? Was that Xavi Simons?
Done deal, guys. It's a done deal,
I saw your effort on All You Can Eat Chelsea. I think we're gonna make this move now.
So I try and replicate. Hey, guys, Xavi Simons.
Here we go. Agreement.
Lads, tell me that was one of the most iconic moments, man, when he did the Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah. Heineken, sponsored by Heineken. Yeah.
Guys, you know what? You know what's mad as well? Because people are talking in the comments and they're bringing up a certain agent. And bro, it's true. Ali Barat. What the hell is going on with Ali Barat, bro? This guy's everywhere with all of our players, man. It's mad.
Everywhere, bro. Everywhere. But hey, thank you to him. He's taking them to Arsenal. He's bringing to us. Bro, do your thing. Do your thing. That's all I say. Do your thing, man. Yunus Bomba. I want to put the next two together, and then we'll do some super chats. Jackson, Morgan Rogers. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Morgan Rogers, but if we'll start with Matisse. Matisse, I've seen your video on how you feel about. There's a lot of how you feels, bro. I need to keep up with all of these how you feels. So,
I'm enjoying the series.
You're
Good.
You're doing well. You're doing well. You're doing well on that. With Jackson, one look. My thoughts on him has always been the same, that this brother, I don't think it's about us letting him go or anything like that. It's more about him now. It's like, how will I accept the fact that I've been number one for Chelsea for 2 years running? All of a sudden now I'm back up, potentially number two, number three. I don't know. And I feel like it may not happen imminently, but obviously we're seeing Fabrizio talk about this. Everyone's talking about this, that Chelsea are not, absolutely desperate, but if a good offer comes in, they might let go, and Jackson might also think about moving. How do you feel about Jackson? I don't know whether Man United, I know today reports came out that maybe they don't have the money available, but there could be potential towards Aston Villa. I mean, how do you feel about that? And then maybe a change with Morgan Rogers, perhaps? Or if it was given to you, Morgan Rogers or Xavi Simons, who would you choose? And along with Jackson leaving as well.
I like both players, but they're obviously both different. I feel like Simons is probably got more variety to his game, whereas Rogers, I feel like from what I saw last season, is more of a carrier, more of a dribbler. I don't necessarily know if the pass is on him, but again, he's come through the City Academy, so I don't want to say that he can't put a pass in. Do you know what I mean? I like both players. They're both very different. Maybe Rogers is the safer bet for a lot of people because obviously he's already in the Prem. He's already played. He's maybe physically more imposing as well. So maybe that would just be the safer bet. But I'm happy with either because, like I said, if it's not Garnacho, I'm happy with either. I like both players. They both bring slightly different things, but they're both not, for me, out and out touchline wingers. So they're both operating in the same area anyway. You both need overlap left back anyway for both of them. So similar situation. I say with sorry, what was you asking me now? Because now I'm confused.
Jackson.
Yeah, so Jackson for me.
Jackson
for me is the now only striker we have that's not in his first season. Right now, on paper, we have three strikers that all understand Cole Palmer, it seems. João Pedro and him have got on like a house on fire. Delap from Man City days, and Jackson just purely because of 2 years experience. Now, for me, I want three senior strikers going into next season. I want three senior strikers because we're in 4 competitions. I don't want to see Neto up front because Neto is already going to have a lot on his plate out wide because Esteval is young and new to the league and the country. Gittins is young, new to the league. And Simons is not an out-and-out winger. Rogers is not an out-and-out winger. So if you're talking about the system and you're talking about someone that's got to be playing on the left wing, right wing, touchline, Neto is going to get through a lot of minutes. So I'm not trying to then burn him out up front as well. I also don't trust Gu up there if we have a cup game, Carabao Cup, which I think is a must win, not a rest and rotate and who cares, third round. No, every cup game is a must win for me. I want to go to Wembley. I want Chelsea to win the Carabao Cup. I want Chelsea to win the FA Cup. So yes, you have to make changes, but the players coming in for me need to be of a certain level. And I think the manager's shown it with the minutes he's given to Jackson versus Gu. Jackson for me is the better striker. Jackson's getting linked with clubs that are of a certain level. Gu's only link is Ipswich on loan. So people have it in their heads. I was going back and forth with Don. Gu is better striker than Jackson. Maybe in terms of some parts of the game, in terms of like as what you'd want from a striker. But first of all, there's not enough sample size on Gu. There's just Conference League. And second of all, just as a player, I think Jackson does a lot more for the team in general. If you've got players around him that can also get the goals, then Gu would do. So I would keep him if he wants to be here. If he doesn't want to be here, I'd sell him tomorrow. That's how I am. Like, I'm not forcing you to stay at all.
He's getting loaned. Apparently, he's getting loaned.
Loan is pointless.
Jackson, not sell it. No, no, sorry, Gu.
Yeah, Gu needs a loan. Gu needs a loan. Gu needs to go out on loan, get regular minutes, develop, kick on, get goals, and show what level he is. Because right now, He's nice and he's cool, and sometimes he looks like Kovacic, and sometimes he looks like you. Sometimes, so I don't even know who this guy is. He's shape-shifting, but he only cost 5 million. He is a really easy sale. At 5 million cost, he is a very easy sale. So he needs to play games and he needs to score goals to either stay at Chelsea or to be sold for a profit. Because 5 million, when someone's costing 5 million, brother, that profit margin is too nice. It's too easy. You're gonna have to be outstanding to stay here. Outstanding. Obviously, the profit margin for Jackson is pretty nice as well. If we get 60, 70, 80. This 80 to 100 stuff is not happening. Like, just I don't know who marked that one up. Same people that put up Broya for 30. That shit's not happening.
It's just they're looking at Ekitike and they're like, if he's going for that much, Jackson's actually put in 2 good seasons.
Yeah. Well, but this is the thing, like people say, like, put some respect on Gu's name, which is all right, cool. But how about you now start putting some respect on Jackson's name? Because the first season he put up 14, 15 goals, no penalties. Second season he puts up 10, 9 was it's not like he put up 10 and he was fully fit the whole season and all the goals were sporadic. He picked up 9 goals before mid-December where we were second, and then 1 after that. You can look at that in a positive way or a negative way. The positive way is, what happened in mid-December to the end of the season? Outside of the hamstring injury, what is that patch? Is it a lack of competition? Is it complacency? What is it? Let's actually talk about what that is. Because
the same thing happened to Cole Palmer as well, right?
Exactly. Because none of the attackers were scoring in that period. So it's very easy to just beat up Jackson and be like, he just didn't score any goals, so just get rid of him. But this is a player that had 9 goals in the first part of the season, to the point where even Goonie, big up Goonie, I think he might be proving me wrong. Right? Because he was on course for 17, 18 Premier League goals. No penalties, by the way. I keep saying this because people don't seem to understand. No penalties. There's a lot of strikers that are getting charity. A lot of strikers that are getting gifts. This brother doesn't get no gifts. And this is a striker, by the way, that's getting those numbers, and he can't even shoot that cleanly. He's not heading the ball cleanly.
It's coming off his shoulder.
Bro, but he's just still getting them. So if you give me the option of having that player at 3rd choice or 2nd choice, to the point where my manager now has João Pedro. If João Pedro is injured, he can look to Delap and still have Jackson on the bench. That's what this manager deserves. He doesn't deserve to have João Pedro get injured. Touch wood, this doesn't happen. November, you're out for 3 months. Delap in. Who else? After Delap. After Delap, who else? Nobody. Seriously.
Pedro Neto. Then you start looking at Pedro Neto being in the middle.
Why does my manager deserve that? Why does my manager deserve to be 1 injury away up front from absolute catastrophe? Like, for me, it just doesn't make sense. Chelsea, maybe new fans or people that don't remember the old days, Chelsea are at their best when they got 3 players to choose from up front.
100%.
I don't think people remember the days of Eto'o, Torres, Demba Ba, Drogba, Remy, Costa, Drogba, Torres, Anelka, Drogba, whoever, Kalu. 3 strikers.
Even back in the day, Drogba, Desmond.
Yeah,
and throw in sometimes Shevchenko, just like that, just so we can.
People have been out of Champions League for so long, they don't even remember what you need to compete. You need 3 strikers. You need 3 strikers. If Chelsea sell Delap, if Chelsea sell Jackson, replace him with Rodgers, who hopefully then has to play false 9 if he's needed, fair enough. That's the argument. But if Chelsea sell Jackson and don't have another option up there, for me, you're going into the season with not enough options up front, in my opinion. And that's how I see it. Now, look, if it's Rodgers that comes in, Jackson goes Villa, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'd rather Garnacho go to Villa. Yeah. And that's their purchase.
I think that might happen. I
don't want us to give them Jackson, then we get Garnacho. If they want Garnacho, they can get Garnacho. Jackson could just stay here, and we could just get the left-sided player that we need anyway, which is Simmons or Rodgers. But that's how I'd go about it.
Yunus, I want to just quickly say, it just reminded me, Drogba and Alka Kalu. We remember those days, right? Now, if people think Kalu is, sort of, we're trying to put him as the same boat as Jackson now. You can be the Kalu, right? See, the thing is, Kalu is never our frontline striker for 2 seasons straight. Do you know what I mean? Like Kalu is always the backup. He knew where his place was. I was always going to be the backup whenever Chelsea's in trouble. I'm there. I'm the guy who can help Chelsea out. And he was quite happy with that. Jackson's case unique though, Eunice. Like he's led our line for 2 years in a row. There was no other competition for him. And all of a sudden he finds himself in this predicament now. And I also feel, and I've said this all along, I've said it on this show as well, like All You Can Eat Chelsea, that there's good about Jackson. I think we've all said that. There's definite good about Jackson. There's certain skill set that definitely makes sense. I think what we've also said that maybe this season is probably his peak price. If you're really thinking about football and business mixing them together, it's probably the right time to get rid of him now, as opposed to keeping him as a third option, which is great for us as a football club, but his value starts depreciating as a player. So you do need to have the right balance. But what do you do, like Eunice, if Jackson does put up his hand and go, look, I'm not about the third or second option business anymore. I'm Nicholas Jackson. I've got some ambitions in life. I want to do certain things. I want to be an important player. I'm not about just getting bits and pieces, minutes here and there. And I'm not hoping for an injury to happen so that I can kick into gears. Either you make me important or I need to bounce. And if that's the case, is it once again Morgan Rogers or Xavi Simons for you, or is it Xavi Simons and not Morgan Rogers at all?
This is the thing. So, like, I agree with what Matisse has said. With you have to go in with 3 strikers, 4 competitions, Champions League included. You need 3 players that can play up front. I do agree with what you said, though, Miz, as well. I don't think that Nicholas Jackson is going to be someone that's just going to just accept third place. And I think he's at a point where he has to. Or you leave. Because with what has been shown, right? I mean, the way that, especially since João Pedro has walked in, and Liam Delap, we know in terms of as a striker, I think even just in terms of the way that he plays, it garners more confidence in his ability. But Jackson either needs to be happy to fight, stay and fight, and accept that right now you are third. Can you change that? Are you going to try and change that? Cool. If you're not, then the issue is being able to have a third option, because realistically, we can't just get rid and then not have a third option. Morgan Rogers makes sense if you were to bring in Rogers and he can play up top if necessary. That does click. For me, Xavi Simons, that's the one thing where I don't think it would work. He's not a centre forward. He has played, I think, like a few times up top, but he's not a centre forward. Now, unless if there's something in his game that I don't know, maybe he can, I don't know. But from what we've seen, that's not his position. That's not where he's played. So we cannot go into a season with just 2 strikers. I feel like that would be an issue. But the thing with Jackson for me, right? And I've said this countless times. Matisse brings up the point about goals and what you scored. I have to just look at the player and the way that he not just conducts himself, but the amount of times that he's missed alongside what he's managed to get into the net. It almost feels like it's not. A lot of those goals, I don't want to take credit away from him. There are some goals that were like flipping out, good goal. But there was a lot of goals, like you've mentioned, the Conference League final, where it's not even come off his head, man. It's come off his chest and it's gone in, right? Great, that's happened.
And Eunice, not just that one, but in Conference League final, that big touch, 1-on-1.
Was that the Conference League final? Was that the Club World Cup?
Yeah, that was Conference League. I was there and I cussed the crap out of him.
Yeah. That's
the thing.
That sort of thing is what we see pretty often from Nicholas Jackson. That's where My issue is, and I know the ones that say, okay, just give him time. He's had 2 seasons. And these, for me, these basic things should be sorted if you are of that level. Do you know what I mean? You can get a goal here and there, and that's going to happen. It's like when people talk about Madueke going to Arsenal. You know, he's going to have good games. In the same way like Havertz went to Arsenal, he's had good games. But I'm not expecting him to light it up. With Nicholas Jackson, I feel like in terms of his ability, just on the ball, his ability on the ball, he has some good moments when he's not required to score. But I'm sorry, you are a striker. I need consistency in front of goal from you. And we see what he misses, and we see some of the basics sometimes, which you look at João Pedro in the limited time, and those basics he's got nailed down.
You want some level of authority. Yeah, you're a
There
Chelsea
has to
striker.
be-
Show me some level of authority.
There has to be a level. There has to be some sort of class, you know, and certainty in what you're going to execute. With Jackson, it's always a question mark. You don't know what you're getting with this guy. And more times than not, it's the basics that he lets himself down on. On top of, we've seen in terms of his head, I mean, and this wasn't even a problem his first season. We didn't really have this issue. Last season, this became a problem where he just loses it out of nowhere. It's just causes a situation. I don't want to rely on that too much because that's something you can rectify. For me, my doubt in him as a player is as a striker. Do you have it in your locker to be consistent in front of goal? I don't think he has.
No,
I don't think he.
That's why he's third choice. Third choice attackers
That's why-
they don't need to be consistent.
Correctly so.
All he has to be is willing and available to compete and to keep pushing the other strikers. And this is the key. So they don't get complacent. They have somebody that's hungry, willing to fight, wants to be here, and that will push them. Because Delap is not a sure thing. Delap is someone that needs pushing. Delap could easily become third choice. Jackson State goes to second. They interchange, fluctuate. One gets injured, whatever. My thing is with Jackson is all of these concerns about his consistency is now no longer an issue because he's not important anymore. He's just an option. And if a 60 million bid came in tomorrow, Eunice, I would start negotiating. This is not like a hands off Jackson. He can't leave. He can't be improved. No. I'm just saying to the people that are like, yeah, just get him out, 40 million, whatever. He's a bum. He's a scrub. The amount of comments I get that are just too over the top on Jackson, for me, that's what I'm really going up against. But in terms of getting a mad price, if somebody came in with a 65, 7, I'm taking that. But I know Chelsea will replace him with a Washington. Will replace him with a Datro Fofana, with a Guiu. They're not going to replace him with a Mateta, with a Wissa, with a Giroud when we signed him, etc. Because that really is the perfect player for that position. A Giroud or a Wissa or a Mateta. Or now, obviously, these guys have to actually want to be part of
Taremi. Remember, Matisse used to like Taremi.
Yeah, but I don't see someone fitting into the wage, age, and also that role that is going to be some big upgrade on Jackson. Like, I don't see those guys wanting to be second fiddle or be a squad rotation option. That's the concern. That's the problem. But if Jackson's not up to it, it's not a problem. I would move him. But I just feel like we have the opportunity here to make sure that going into the winter period, there's more Champions League games, new format. Carabao Cup, we need to go to the final. FA Cup, we need to go to the final. We have an opportunity here to make sure that we don't leave anything on the table. Forget profits, forget sell-ons. We have an opportunity to make sure that going into next season, we're ready. Yeah. Not ready if everyone's fit, ready if people aren't fit. That's how I want to be ready. I want to be ready. So
yeah, and you know, this is where I mean we can all have our opinion on a player or anything, but if I talk about what I think Chelsea are going to do, I think Jackson gets sold. Eventually, I think for that reason you pointed out, Miz. If he were to stay and be third choice, that value that he has now goes, and I think Chelsea are aware of that. But my concern, which is like I said, I agree with Matisse on this, is I don't think we'll replace him directly. I don't think we get him gone, and then we bring in a striker, a third choice striker that can fill in the gap.
Versatile. There'll be another versatile player.
And that for me, there is a bit of concern there, 100%. Now, unless this is going to sound wild. And if it happens, I'm all on board. But again, that's maybe that's where you ask, are we overcooking? Are we going to be overdoing it? Is if we do sell Jackson, say we sell Nkunku, we also use that. We bring in Xavi Simons, we sell Jackson, and we get in Morgan Rogers.
That is wild.
Then at that point we are beyond stacked to the point where there's some good players that will have to sit the bench.
And I can't even see that happening. That's just ridiculous.
Can't see that happening. So
I actually can. That's
ridiculous.
Can you?
Look, a couple of points there Eunice mentioned, right? Business and football this was one of the biggest problems, and Eunice has said that a long time ago as well. We were a little bit lopsided. It was all business and not too much football. But now business and football is coming together, right? What I mean by that is Madueke. There's a reason why we've sold Madueke this season, because peak price. And we got that. Thank you, Arsenal. Similarly with Jackson. As much as I've got no qualms about keeping him, I think Matisse has made a very compelling argument why he wants to keep him. I think Eunice is more or less the same boat as well. I don't mind keeping him, but I think he's going to go because of that price dipping, because the business has got to make sense. And Nicholas Jackson isn't someone who's going to, if gone, we're not really going to suffer too much. He's not one of those ones that, oh shit, Nicholas Jackson's gone. Now, what do we do now? It's not one of those cases. If he stays, great. If he goes, it's not a big deal. So that's how I see this whole situation with Nicholas Jackson. But yeah, let's
add one thing as well. One last thing on this, right? Last season, there was a lot of times where people would say Maresca is not tactically flexible. Maresca doesn't have a plan B. Maresca doesn't do this. Maresca doesn't do that. These are the moments where you have an opportunity to give him no excuses. So people say, oh, we don't play a two up front. Why not? Because we don't have enough strikers. Because we don't have enough strikers. Because you've always got to have a striker on the bench that you can bring on. So for me, when you have three strikers, you have the opportunity, if you need to, and we've seen it in the Club World Cup, we played like a 4-2-2-2. Palmer, Enzo off the wide playmaker positions, and Neto and Delap were kind of playing up front together.
Yep.
So don't rule out these things, because the manager's just shown he can be tactically flexible. The manager's just shown that he can do different things. So why now rule out the opportunity to play two up front if you need a goal with 10 minutes left? I want to see two up front. Absolutely. If you're at home to Everton, 10 minutes left at the bridge, I want to see two up front. So I feel like people, they're too kind of rigid a little bit now. And then the manager's rigid, and then it's like, why is the manager rigid? Don't leave us. We played a back three in the Club World Cup. I saw like a 3-4-3 shape sometimes. Don't be rigid. Keep all options open, so then we can do anything. And that's how you really be surprising and sneaky on your opponents.
And do you know what? Go on.
Sorry, that recruitment that we're doing now, I think reflects that. I think the players that we're all bringing in, the ones that we've brought in, and the ones that look like are going to be heading in, I think solves that issue. So yeah, there won't be excuses, but I think that's what Chelsea are trying to do anyway. We'll be able to shift and be flexible into many different ways of playing. I would hope anyway.
And lastly on this, before we do super chats, is what I really liked when Matisse said that Jackson should be looking at this situation. A lot of people have been saying like Delap has a strong future. There's no doubts about that. I think this guy's going to be a very good player. He's already got a lot of good attributes about him. But Jackson should be looking at Delap and thinking, what makes you think I'm now automatically number two? He really should be looking at Delap and going, I'm competing with you. And I think he should also look at João Pedro and go, brother, I've put in 2 years here. You've just walked in, and granted, you've looked brilliant, right? And you've looked brilliant back in Watford. You've looked brilliant back in Brighton. No problems. But I want to compete. I want to work hard in the training ground and put some sort of seed in the manager's mind that you can consider me as well. So I hope Jackson has that mentality, but I guess then similarly, Maresca needs to be transparent as well. Maresca needs to go out to Jackson and go, Jackson, you're not out of my mind if you work hard and if you show that you are performing better all throughout the week, you know, ahead of Dilap and João Pedro, then you will be considered. I hope Maresca takes that route, or he just be very transparent and just tells Jackson that, hey, you're going to be number 2, number 3 now, because I've got Dilap, who I know for a very, very long time, and I know what João Pedro is going to give me in terms of the system that I'm playing. So one way or another, I hope everyone is very transparent with each other that either you will get a chance, because it's all well and dandy for us as fan base to talk about fight, Jackson, fight. Well, if the manager doesn't give me a chance to fight, then what's the point? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the manager's going, you can fight as much as you want. You're not in my thought process. You know, it's.
And bro, like even João, like I love the way João started, but João needs to still know that like it's not over. Everybody's just ready to just give João the keys, he's fucking Kane or Lewandowski or Suarez, bro. This brother's never scored 15 Premier League goals. He's never scored more than 10 Premier League goals in a campaign. Like we need to also chill with this guy. Because if you're going to be starting for Chelsea, your aim should be 20, right?
Yeah.
Not 10, not 12, not 13, 14, 15, 20. So everybody needs to be still getting the kick up the arse. Everybody, the consistency needs to be there. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think the situation right now is so perfect in terms of you got different characters. They're all hungry in different ways. They're all quite fiery. Palmer understands all of them. I think it's a good situation we're in, man.
No, I agree.
With Nico, that point you made is correct. I see some people in the chat asking the right question. I feel is, does he have that maturity about him? Because what we saw at the back end of last season was just outrageous. And is that him trying too hard? Is that him actually trying to execute what you've asked here and going, you need to prove yourself now? And he's gone all guns blazing, thinking that that's the right way. Someone actually said, this had me laughing kind of, that Jackson leans more towards Balotelli's mentality, but just without the finishing, which is but I kind of disagree to an extent that Balotelli is just a bad boy.
Yeah, it was a badass.
He's a bad boy who sometimes tries to be good, but he's a bad boy. Nicholas Jackson, I think, is a good guy who tries to be bad. and completely wrong, and that's where you have to ask: is the mental maturity actually there for him to take on this sort of challenge? For me, it's a question mark. I'm not sure. I don't think he's got that in him, if I'm honest. But we'll see what happens. Does he get sold, or will he be the third choice? We'll see what's going to happen.
We'll definitely see what's going to happen. All right, Super Chats time. Mo, thank you. Chelsea got rivals shook. They know we are coming. I absolutely believe it. One club I'm really looking forward to. I see this man really, really beaming with a lot of smile in Big Six. Mr. Grizz and Liverpool fans. I'll be watching. You've done the business. It looks like you're going to do more business. There is a huge marker on Liverpool's head next season. And I just hope all the other clubs, look at Liverpool differently. Like, don't let them just walk this league next season. I think every team should be gearing up against Liverpool week in, week out, like it's the final for them, and see if they can get something against them. I think that'll be interesting to see. Brian CFC, thank you, my man. Okay, but bring me Champions League, EPL, Carling, and FA chips. Hey, we're obviously going to try. Mr. Putt, thank you. Everyone with a logical mind had the right to criticize the direction, recruitment, and other stuff. And in our hearts, we wanted to be wrong. in our hearts, we wanted to be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did want it to be wrong. Yeah. And hope this works out because it is more important to win. No, I agree.
Right.
Absolutely agreed. MRM Sports, thank you. I would try Jackson on the wing, then get Garnacho. Yeah, our manager doesn't like Jackson in the wings. I think he's said that he is a number 9. He doesn't like him out in the wings. I kind of understand it as well. Yeah. Director, thank you for the super chat. Garnacho played crap at Man United. Plays better with Argentina. Garnacho is a very good player. Even Rashford and Greenwood have been impressive guys. Yeah, it's what Eunice said. Maybe, no, it's not even a maybe. There is definitely a factor where Man United as a club has, compounded on the issues that some of these players have. It's not. Yeah, it's not going to be a surprise if Garnacho goes elsewhere and actually does well. And there's been cases, we've already mentioned that. So, but if there is a choice of the players that we have, I think he would be the last to be picked. Asad, thank you so much. We need 3 strikers. Delap, not it. Pedro get injured. Of course. I think 3 options is good. But is Jackson happy to be the Kalou back in the days? That's the real question. Asad, once again, people are doing too much. We play better with Jackson. I don't think people are doing too much. Yes, we do play good with Jackson, but it's what Eunice has mentioned. We can't disregard the gilt-edged chances that he's missed. Like, miss them next season. Miss them next season when we're competing in the Premier League and in the Champions League.
Oh boy.
Champions League quarterfinals. 1v1 Jackson against a goalkeeper. Bigfoot.
He would get cooked.
You then tell me how you feel. It's Conference League missing those kind of chances. You might be upset for a couple of hours. Miss them in the Champions League. Yeah, those couple of hours turn into a couple of weeks. Director, once again, Chelsea versus Barcelona, 1-1, 79th minute, Jackson in. Yeah. Okay.
I'd be crapping myself at that point.
Yeah, me too. I'd be crapping myself. Asad, thank you, my man. Again, y'all gave the manager time, December to Feb. Why not Jackson? Bro, this guy, look, Asad, I think at this point, you really need to give up on the manager. Like, you need to start understanding that the manager is actually not the problem.
You know what? There's one point that has to be made about this, yeah. Because okay, if we're going to talk about what the way people were looking at Jackson before, okay, after his first season, what people were saying, he needs a second season, right? Drogba didn't do well in his first season. So he done well in his second, so we got to give him a second, right? Then we give a second, and in fact, the way that it ended was probably worse that we've seen throughout his time at Chelsea. So now we're looking for a third season. See where this is going. Rightfully so. I'm talking with him as the main man here. We're talking, like we said, as a third choice, and now he's got competition and he has to prove himself, then fair enough. But as a main choice, leading the line, we've got 2 years of sample size here to see what he's about. It's clear. It's clear.
How comes Gusto's getting a third season then? Gusto was shocking last year. So why is he getting a third season, Eunice? Do you know what I mean? Jackson got 14, 15 Premier League goals in his first year. That was a good start. Second season, he went to shit. So did Gusto. Gusto's getting a third season. Why is Jackson not getting a third season?
Wow.
Because
we have another hour?
Jackson, yeah. Jackson was leading the line. Gusto, correctly so, should have been back up to Reece James. Only now is Gusto actually, and from the Club World Cup, looking like, okay, he's now looking okay. But yeah, Gusto's not been convincing. And Gusto shouldn't be the first choice right back as far as I'm concerned, because Reece is there. But like Jackson, shouldn't be leading the line at Chelsea. And to be fair, yeah, do you remember what we were saying the first time we bought him? That he shouldn't be put in the situation to protect Jackson. He shouldn't be in a position where he's leading the line for Chelsea.
Yeah.
he's actually there. He's actually there now. Now he's in a position
It's
where
exactly
he's
where he
not
should
leading
be.
the line.
I just saw someone say Gusto didn't let us down. What games were you watching? I went to Poland.
Bro.
That first half, he nearly sent me into cardiac arrest, bro. And
Gusto was crap.
you're talking about not letting us down. He nearly cost us the whole trophy. This is what I'm saying. People, all I'm trying to say is be fair, because Gusto nearly cost us the whole Conference League trophy in that first half. But when I bring him up, I got people telling me, "Oh no, he didn't do as bad." Brother couldn't defend or attack all season. Now that was partly on Maresca. But all I'm saying is you have to be fair. And right now, it ain't sounding like it's being fair in the chat.
I'll be somewhat
second choice anyway. Jackson's third choice, second choice. Same shit.
I'll be somewhat fair. How can we? I get the circumstance, what you're trying to say, Matisse, but how can we truly compare Jackson and Gusto's situation? One, I'm relying on goals. Do you know what I mean? Like I need goals from Jackson. And one, tactically, I need you to do certain things for me. And if it doesn't work out, no problem. Take a seat. I've got other options as well. With Jackson, brother, I need goals. Like, I'm not looking at Gusto and going, bro, I need goals. Like, don't talk. Shh. Keep your mouth shut. Goals. Like Jackson, this is what I feel like. Gusto, tactically, you may persevere for another season.
Definitely.
Nicholas Jackson, tactically, I don't think we need to persevere. Like, there are other options.
If the other option is actually like something that we can get and is attainable, then
yeah, of course. Yeah.
If the option is nothing, then it's not. Then for me, it's not worth the risk.
To be fair as well to Gusto, if he doesn't constantly invert, which is what we've seen, he's actually okay.
He's good.
As a normal fullback, just standard traditional fullback, Gusto's actually decent. When he comes inside, he's playing in midfield, but he can't do it, man. He cannot invert. He just can't. It's horrible. So,
I think Maresca's hopefully finally realized that, and now we've got a lot of midfielders. So, and he started to play Gusto more where he feels more comfortable. Mr. Butt, last but not least, the thing is more the rivals say no to signing our players, more the probability of the rivals buying them increases. Now, fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us till the end of the show. Thank you so much for being here all throughout. Smash up the like button. Before we go, Matisse, what's coming up, brother? Any more How I Feel?
How I Feel will continue. Xavi Simmons, I'm going to go and cook up something.
Oh, shit.
Because it looks like it's going to happen, isn't it? So we got to be ready. I mean, we got to be ready.
Yeah.
I hope I don't record it and then it doesn't happen, because then that would be another time where
are you going to do one of those ones? You have it pre-recorded.
Yeah, I have to.
Fabrizio,
and then bang.
Boom.
I have to, because there's so much going on right now. As you know, I'm not going to tell the people because it's a surprise, but as you know, there's so much going on off camera. I can't record all the time whenever Fabrizio just decides, I'm going to drop this today. Like, I got to have my shit ready just in case, you know what I mean? So I'll probably go record that, and then apparently we're playing some random team on a Saturday. Has anybody seen this? Yeah, we're playing we're playing a team. Colwell's part ownership team. Go on any footballing app. Go and type in Chelsea's fixtures. I need to know if this game is live. Is this on the Chelsea app, guys? Where can I watch this game? I'll do a watch along for this.
When did Colwell become a football owner?
We're playing Scholing. Who's Scholing?
Scholing? What is this?
Is that a Chinese?
Type in Chelsea versus Scholing, 26th of July.
No, it's not in Chelsea fixtures, bro. Where are you seeing this?
Bro, it's right here, bro, on the app, bro.
Hey, who's playing? Reggie Walsh?
I don't know who these men are, bro, but I want to watch the game.
It's in the app, is it?
It's in SofaScore.
Are you sure that's not? Hang on. Are you sure that's not? Because Chelsea a couple of days ago we played against Bromley, but that was but that was the
behind closed doors.
It's like the under-21s. That was the kids.
No, but this is when you type in Chelsea first team, this comes up, and then it's Leverkusen and Milan. So this is here. Some people must know what I'm talking about.
It's not on Google.
Bro, look, I'm on the Chelsea app.
All right. I'm on SofaScore, bro. I'm on SofaScore. People need to go on SofaScore right now, bro.
Is that editable? Like, can people edit that?
No,
app and
no one
just
can
put
edit.
like.
No one can edit SofaScore. Why is it not coming up? Hold on. Let's see if it gets any clearer.
Are they actually going to telecast that match?
Can you see? Look, 3 fixtures. Can you not see? Like, there's 3 games there.
Yeah, I can see now.
Chelsea. No, live
I've got
score
Sofa.
has
I've
Bayer
got
Leverkusen.
Sofa.
It's got to be the academy. It's got to be the.
Maybe, but bro, if there's a hint of a
Bro,
Chelsea
they're
fan,
not.
I want to watch that, bro.
Bro, they're not showing that game, bro. No way they're showing that game. I mean, if they are, wow, fantastic. But I highly doubt they'd show that game.
Someone said Sholing is in Southampton, where Cole was from. It's an academy match.
Oh, Sholing.
Yeah. It's not.
I thought it was
so
like
it's definitely not.
Shaolin.
Okay. So we know it's not the first team because they're on holiday.
Shaolin.
But what I'm saying is, guys, if Esteval and Gittins are gonna be there, I need to be there because they didn't play in the Club World Cup. So that's why I'm just alerting you. You know?
Yeah.
Are they? I don't even think they're at Cobham yet.
Yeah, but is that gonna change? It's Saturday. I'm just saying, if Esteval's making his debut, I'm there. I don't give a shit who we're playing. Scholings, you know what I mean? I don't give a damn who it is, bro. If Esteval's making his debut, I need to be there. I don't want to hear no one saw Esteval's debut because they thought Reggie Walsh was playing, bro. I don't give a shit.
Surely he's on holidays as well, bro. Like he was all the way.
I don't know.
Well, what do you mean? He was there in the quarterfinals for Palmeiras.
Nah, man, he got his ass whooped, man. Get your ass back home, man. Hell, holiday my ass, man. Get your ass.
Man goes, why?
Get to London now, bro.
That's too funny. Ola, look, ladies and gentlemen, no more super chats, please. Take penalty goals out. Jackson is better than Delap. João Pedro also scored penalty goals. Please give Jackson a break if we are not signing Gyökeres. No problems, bro. Look, I get it. So Matisse has got Xavi Simons, how he feels about that. Hopefully there's a here we go and then that comes out. Eunice, what's coming up, bro?
Standard. We've got enough there to keep doing double uploads. So that's what's happening. And just the news really for now. And then obviously preseason is not that far away. So once we get to that, we get to that. But for now.
Any more sort of skits? The press conference type, that was pretty good, bro. Like, any more of that? Can we expect that?
I enjoyed that. That was actually fun.
Bro, I loved how you started, bro. The water bottle, drinking, everything. Yeah, like I'm like, what?
I even had a press officer next to me, man. The whole work. Even the journalist asking the question at the end. Yeah, man. I'll see where it's fit, and if I get any ideas and it works, I'll definitely do more of that because it's good creative content. To be fair, I like it. So,
look, we know Matisse is like the creative.
He's the skit
center. He's the king. He's Cesc. Do you know what I mean? He's Cesc Fabregas. He's creating. He's always creating. But yeah, Eunice, you're there, bro. You're also a creator. You're Xavi Simons. Yeah, he's a bit of a creator. He scores goals.
We need 2 10s, bro. Come on.
2 10s.
There you go. Joshua, Ms, love your cameos over Saeed's. You should do more. Well, Saeed's actually reached out to me, so it is going to be a regular now. Apparently, his chat loves me a lot. They want me there. So once a week in Saeed's channel on a regular, I believe Wednesdays, which is tomorrow. So do look out for that. So that's a little bit about me with Saeed on a regular. So yeah, and everything else is as usual on the channel. Try to do 2 uploads, sometimes 1. So yeah, just really news. I'm not a creative number 10 like these 2 lads. Call me maybe striker. Maybe I'm the Dilap. Just put it in the plate for me. I'll score, and that's what I do, man. Just news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Smash up the likes and subscribe to everyone's channel. It's in the link. No more. This is the last one. Anything after this, I'm not reading it. NB, thank you so much. Front 4, Pedro, Esteval, Palma, Simons next season. That will be cooking. That will be cooking. All right, everyone, take care. See ya.